it provides us this detailed breakdown, ancient Celtic roots. Samhain. I remember Samhain from the Ghostbusters animated series, the real Ghostbusters back in the 80s. Happy Halloween, everyone. Welcome back to Kili's AI Paranormal Research. And I think this is one of my favorite holidays. I suspect that if you're watching this program, then it's probably one of your favorite holidays too. So let's talk a little bit about Halloween. And I'm curious to know some particulars about the holiday itself. So let's start off with something here about the origins of how Halloween is observed in the United States. And let's see what we can find out. All right, yeah, and I wanted to know, its little preamble here, the Halloween is observed in the United States today with costumes, trick-or-treating, pumpkins, and parties, evolved over centuries from a mix of ancient Celtic, European, Christian, and American cultural traditions, and it provides us this detailed breakdown, ancient Celtic roots. Samhain. I remember Samhain from the Ghostbusters animated series, the real Ghostbusters back in the 80s. Origin, the earliest roots of Halloween trace back over 2,000 years to the ancient Celtic festival of Samhain. Samhain. Oh, that's interesting. I'd never heard that pronunciation before. And it was celebrated in what is now the UK, Ireland, and northern France. It was to mark the end of the harvest season and the beginning of the winter, a time associated with death and the supernatural. Certainly winter much more difficult to survive through when you didn't have any things like central heat in your homes. People lit bonfires, wore animal skin disguises to ward off wandering spirits and offer food and drink to appease them. All Hallows Eve, the Christian influence adaptation by the Christian church. As Christianity spread through Celtic regions, the church sought to replace pagan festivals with Christian observances, like All Saints Day. Pope Gregory III designated November 1st as All Saints Day, also called All Hallows Day, which, October for 31st. The origins of All Hallows Eve, shortened to Halloween. So it's a blend of traditions. Many Samhain customs merge or sew in. Customs merge with Christian beliefs about souls, purgatory, and the dead, maintaining themes of spirits in the afterlife. European folk customs. Okay, so the arrival in America, the early colonial period, Halloween was not widely celebrated in early colonial America due to its strict Protestant beliefs, especially in Puritan New England. So then, immigration obviously would be the turning point. It had a lot to do with it. And there's all kinds of other information. The commercialization of Halloween, this is kind of what I was looking for. Where's that transition from all these pagan rituals to the transition to Christianity to the transition to the commercialization and trick-or-treating? And it was in the 20s through the 50s, it became a mass cultural phenomenon in the United States. Neighborhood trick-or-treating took off in the 1930s and 50s, encouraged a safe community activity during the post-war suburban boom. Okay, yeah, that kind of makes sense. And then it really starts, Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown sort of influences it. So it's interesting to think that which I grew up with hadn't really existed all that long as we now know it today. Modern Halloween is a blend of ancient and modern pagan and Christian pop cultural influences. Boy, that's an interesting one. Specifically, it was the post-war boom, World War II, World War I, World War II, where the Halloween we know today sort of takes hold. And I hadn't really thought that, the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, had some sort of influence into the wide adoption of the holiday as we now know it today. Let's try something else. Speaking of that commercialization, what is the best selling Halloween costume of all time. Keep it simple here. Let's just see what it has to say. Dracula, maybe? Okay, let's Spider-Man, Superman, Batman, Frankenstein, werewolf, any of those, I'm guessing. Ben Cooper costumes were big when I was growing up, so you might see a few of those. Let's see, clarifying costume popularity, what it has to say about what is the best-selling Halloween costume of all time. Oh, so there's no single authoritative all-time sales chart, but every major survey and search trend measure the classic witch costume as the closest thing to a best-selling Halloween outfit. No centralized lifetime sales record from retailers, Walmart, Amazon, Party City and Spirit, independent costume makers. What data shows instead? Annual surveys, published summaries like Business Insider, ABC News, Google search trend analysis consistently list witch as the top costume and one of the most searched, bought costumes year after year. Kids versus adults differ. For children's costumes, popular recurring winners like superheroes, Spider-Man, Disney princesses. So most sold depends on the category of what we mean. That's interesting. It doesn't really have, it's basically inconclusive, but evidence shows that if we were to pick one, it would be the witch costume. All right, one more. I'm interested in this. Provide a list of countries that observe Halloween or a similar holiday in the same or similar manner as the United States. Generate a list of these countries and the dates these countries observe the holiday. List them in order from the earliest date on the calendar to the latest date on the calendar. So I am curious if other countries observe Halloween in the same manner in which we do with trick-or-treating. With the Halloween specials on TV, the Halloween music. Thanks for the compliments on my question. Here's a concise ordered list of countries that observe Halloween or a closely similar holiday. Ordered earliest calendar date to latest, almost a cluster, all cluster October 31st and November 1st. Okay, so yeah, they're within a 2-day period. October 31st, Halloween, modern U.S. style elements, costumes, trick-or-treat, and parties. Ireland. October 31st. The United Kingdom, October 31st. The United States, October 31st. Canada, Australia, New Zealand. Increased popularity of trick-or-treat costume events. Okay, Japan, largely a pop culture celebration, street parades, costume parties. South Korea, Japan and South Korea grouped. That's interesting. So then on November 1st, All Saints Day. A lot of European countries celebrate: France, Spain, Italy, Portugal, Poland, Hungary, etc. So the Philippines, and then we have South American countries, Mexico, Dia de los Muertos, All Saints Day, All Souls Day, Mexico on November 1st and 2nd, Guatemala, Peru, Ecuador, parts of Latin America in early November. So they're saying two flavors of similar styles here. The U.S. style Halloween costumes, trick-or-treat, commercial parties. A lot of countries celebrate that. The All Saints is more of a Catholic Christian observance. In Latin America, widespread adoption versus the official holiday. This is interesting. Halloween, October 31st, is widely celebrated in many English-speaking and urbanized countries, but is rarely a public holiday. Yeah, we don't have the day off for Halloween. Unless that happens to fall on the weekend, of course. All Saints, All Souls are public holidays in many Catholic countries. Now I don't need it to turn into a spreadsheet. Global spread, commercialization, and pop culture mean that Halloween imagery and events are now appear worldwide. Big city parades, themed parties, even when there is no historical tie. So yeah, Halloween has sort of spread. I think the commercialization of Halloween is spread. And if you look up here, what is that? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 countries have very similar Halloween observances as the United States. That's kind of interesting, I think. I mean, if anyone's going to commercialize something, it's going to be the United States, right? And I guess you can make all sorts of arguments here. This is just for fun, right? That's why we're doing this. All right, I think that's it for now. Hey, everyone have a really safe and fun Halloween. Not too bad. I kind of enjoy the historical perspective and what other countries are doing with Halloween. Now, When you're spreading that candy on the floor, I have one piece of advice. Don't look under your bed.